Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
What do?
Hey there, good morning. Welcome to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay. Big E, of course, is here. Seems like we were just here. We're back again.
We're back.
Do it all over again.
Thanks for having me back to your house,
Oh,
Mike.
yeah, absolutely.
Nice
Don't
of you to
mention
have me
it.
over.
Don't mention it. Absolutely. Interesting night after you guys left. I was trying to catch. Sunday is such a weird night for TV. There's just so much on, especially right now with the Game of Thrones going on, which I didn't watch. 60 Minutes had a great tribute to Morley Safer, who's retiring.
Oh, Silicon Valley, too.
Silicon Valley, yep. Which I didn't see. The Simpsons was doing something last night. Simpson. Where they were supposedly taking live calls for Homer the last 3 minutes of the show.
Really?
Yeah, and they were using some Adobe video application or something where they could match up Dan Castellaneta's voice with Homer's mouth movements, and so they had a live call-in number, and people could call in. And,
Did it work?
yeah, I guess it worked okay. I think they were stock answers or something. I don't know how live it was, but it looked all right. I mean, it I guess it went off okay.
Do you remember any of the questions?
One of them was like, Homer, what kind of car do you drive? What's your favorite kind of pizza, deep dish or New York style? And
Really?
yeah,
That's what they would ask?
yeah. And I thought, I was reading an interview with Al Jean, who's the showrunner and executive producer. Of course, our we worked with his whole family growing
Right,
up.
Jean's Hardware.
His weird family at Jean's Hardware. But he was talking about how, oh yeah, I'm sure Trump will be brought up and the whole election thing. That's a no-brainer. But I didn't see anything. Nobody went there, and at least on what I saw, which obviously would have been the East Coast feed. I'm assuming it would have been different live calls for the West Coast feed.
You telling me Homer got a bunch of softballs?
It sounds like it. Yeah, from what I saw, they were softballs, but whatever. The Morley Safer stuff was better. Seeing that dude's career, holy shit, man, it's amazing. First off, how people age.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
When
seeing
did
a
he
guy
start?
in his 20s, doing like war correspondent shit. And back then, it wasn't like a GoPro and, like you're carrying like rigs with you, like to film that stuff. And
He's like late 70s, 80s now?
80s now.
Damn,
yeah.
dude.
Being in Vietnam and stuff, running around the trenches with these guys. And, those guys were even saying like, dude, the packs of shit that this guy would carry around were heavier than what we were carrying on the ground.
It's a real hero.
Yeah.
Morley.
But it was cool just seeing like this dude's world, how messy his office is, and how long a guy like that's been at it. And it's kind of cool. So I guess, 80 is a good time to check out. And,
What were some of his huge interviews? I can't even picture him.
well, they touched on him doing the hard-hitting interview with Alec Baldwin when Alec Baldwin went off on his daughter, his 12-year-old daughter.
Yeah,
Remember that?
Ireland.
What's that?
Called her a pig and all that shit.
Yeah. There was that one. I don't know. I'd have to think about it more, but yeah, he's good. One of those, immediately recognizable voices.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly a great writer. I don't know how the process at 60 Minutes works, but it was fascinating to see an hour dedicated to one of their guys, and it was kind of cool. But anyway, so more catching up to do as you said, Silicon Valley and all that kind of stuff. So haven't seen it yet. The other thing that's interesting around these parts, anyways, for us is a new application we started fooling around with.
Yeah, it's called Wave.
Yeah.
WAVVE, Wave.
Yeah, 2 V's.
2 V's.
You can download the app. It's basically they've got a page set up for the Detroit Cast on this application. Like if you go to Wave and download the app, it's more social media stuff, but if you go there and click on just Detroit, the Detroit Cast pops up, and it allows people to leave.
It's kind of like verbal Twitter.
It's like verbal Twitter or verbal email.
Yeah.
You can leave up to 60 second long messages for the show, and we've kind of been in the beta testing stages of using it. But it's kind of cool. It's kind of fun. We've been having some fun playing around with
We
it.
had some volunteer listeners go and post and try it out, and yeah, it's kind of interesting. Here's an example, Mike. Let me see if I can find one.
Okay.
So this is labeled. So what you do is you label your post, give it a little pithy intro, and then you go ahead and press and hold, and you have 60 seconds to say whatever you want. So this is labeled Ease $1,000 all night grinding offer. I think this probably comes from Joel.
Probably. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's good.
What's wrong?
I don't know.
You're stuck in Spinland.
Stuck in Spinland. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
It's a good kickoff of that app. Seriously. Fucking A. You know, what the fuck?
Maybe that's the problem. Try another one. I could add it. I could clean it up, make it sound more professional, Jay. No worries there.
Yeah. So one example is God damn it.
Is this
dude.
the egg on face moment of the show?
Yeah. All right. Fuck this app. Yeah.
No, don't say that. Anyway. Yeah, well, maybe we'll try it later. I don't know why it would be acting up. It was running fine 5 minutes ago when we were screwing around with it. But, yeah. Well, shit, that sucks, dude. I wanted to show people what it was capable of so they would download the app and start screwing around with it, too.
No luck there. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, we'll come back to it later. How about that? Deal?
Sure.
All right. Here, can you read one of these?
Sure. Got to tell you about our buddy David Helm. This segment's brought to you by Helm Law. It's a full-service law firm built on the model of providing the best legal services to its clients throughout Michigan. It represents clients in a wide range of cases, including family law and divorce, civil litigation, estate planning, and criminal defense. So whether you're leaving your children in the car or your spouse is refusing to put out, call Helm Law at 248-679-8804 or go online at helmlawpc.com. They offer free consultations. Tell them you support the Detroit Cast. You'll get 15% off.
Well, we have finally reached the day, Jay, when we have a verdict on Hazel Abel.
Man,
You're the Nana you told you loved, by the way.
I'm wondering now that this is over, now that these boys have been sentenced, her
Mhm.
great grandson and his cohorts, whether she'll be open to the idea of adoption. So I know she had other things on her plate. She wasn't really thinking clearly.
Yeah.
Will she be open to my overture now?
Would you move her here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd put her in here.
I don't want a Nana roaming around here.
That'd
Sorry.
be awesome. Have Hazel Abel living upstairs.
No, with that chihuahua.
Yeah.
She's got that chihuahua. Tessa. Anyway, she told her great grandson and his friend to behave themselves in prison. Hazel Abel sympathized with the boys during their sentencing. I could have ended so much worse if you'd carried out the plans you had for me.
I screamed, but nobody heard me.
Her great grandson is Dylan Martin.
Yeah.
And that goddamn Billy Underwood.
Billy Underwood. You almost said Mahoney, because that's exactly who you think of. You think
Yeah.
of Billy Mahoney from Flatliners, that son of a bitch, that
Yeah.
little tough son of a bitch who beats everybody up. That's how I picture Underwood in this situation.
Yeah.
He's a bastard.
Well, he is the one. Billy Underwood's the one that stuffed Abel in the trunk of her car, along with her chihuahua
I
Tessa.
screamed, but nobody heard me.
What kind of car was that again?
I can't remember.
It's a 2001 Neon.
That's right. And they drove her from Kennewick, Washington to Wood Village, Oregon before she managed to escape. The two confessed they'd considered killing Abel and setting fire to the car with her body still inside. That's so brutal.
Oh.
It didn't happen. Why would you admit that?
Yeah.
That's got to make it worse.
Just be like, we didn't know what we were going to do.
Remember they also talked about like taking her out to the desert, a few miles into the desert, and just letting her go. Oh, Martin was sentenced to 9.5 years in prison.
Dude, I don't know why, but I never really thought about what the sentence could be for these guys. It was just kind of like, I don't know, tossing around in my mind like a couple years.
Yeah.
9.5 years. Holy shit.
It's a long time. And that son of a bitch, Billy Underwood, got an extra year.
Let's see.
He got 10.5. She was saying that. I blame Billy Underwood.
He was the
didn't she?
ringleader. Yeah.
Underwood admitted executing most of the plot to gag, bind, and kidnap the woman. He was
They
sentenced to
put me down in the floor, and then one of them sat on me.
You mentioned the gag.
They
Yeah.
tied my hands and put a gag in my mouth.
Yeah, it's exactly how it happened. There, you're hearing it from the Nana's mouth. He was sentenced to 10.5 years. He also apologized. In a statement, Abel said, "I can't begin to tell you boys how sorry I am for what you've all been through these
What a
past few
nice
months."
lady. Listen to
Oh,
that.
Nana.
I can't begin to tell you how sorry I am
Yeah,
for what you boys have been through. After what she's been put through, she was dirt-faced.
I
Well,
know.
the dirt face, of course, was real scary.
It could have been ended so much worse if you did than it did if you'd carried out the plans you had for me. People have been so angry about what you did to me that it has been safer for you to be in jail. Ooh,
Ugh.
he's probably right about that. I've asked why so many times and yet haven't been able to be given an acceptable answer. Behave yourself in prison and maybe someday you will have a good life.
Poor Hazel.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's family still.
yeah.
I don't know.
How close is anyone to their great grandma, though? You know, like,
Yeah.
like what's that
A lot of
relationship?
people don't even
like?
have one, or they have one, but usually not alive.
I remember my great grandparents being, I don't know, just barely remember seeing
Hanging
them
on.
kind of sitting there and stinksing.
Yeah,
Like I remember kind of going over and getting like an uncomfortable hug from a couple of them. Like, yeah,
I
I
don't
was always creeped out by them because they were just super old and crotchety.
know that I ever had a great
I
grandparent
didn't.
that I remember
Yeah.
meeting.
You know,
Seriously, I don't.
No, I didn't. If I met them, I mean, if I mean, I must have been 2 or 3 because I don't ever remember it.
yeah, I remember being freaked out by them.
Yeah, yeah, I don't remember ever meeting him. So, and this kid's 17.
Yeah,
That's crazy. The prosecutor recommended a 14-year sentence, saying the teenagers deliberately planned the kidnapping and took measures to avoid getting caught, like driving with the car lights turned off. Well, yeah, once you're in it, I mean, you can't.
God, that admission that they were going to burn her. Ugh,
Yeah.
damning.
Underwood's mother proving once again that moms will go to great lengths to defend their child.
Yeah,
And Candy Jaramillo said that her son is not a bad boy and he would never hurt an elderly person. Candy, I got to be honest.
he's admitted to doing just that. Candy.
Yeah. I mean, I would expect nothing less from that goddamn Billy Underwood's mom.
Yeah,
Candy. Underwood said, "I'm going to do everything and anything I can to better my life. I just hope Ms. Abel can forgive me in the future for what I've done." Katie Lynn Kenfield, remember her, the 15-year-old girl
yes.
that was also part of this trio?
She rolled on him, right?
Yeah, she was involved in the plot, was found guilty of first-degree kidnapping, second-degree theft for the vehicle. She was ordered to serve up to 2.5 years in the state juvie institution. Those other two were charged as adults, even though they were 16 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
She's appealing that. Underwood claimed he was the one who put the apron over Abel's head and tied her hands, and Martin admitted to being the dirt facer, the grandson.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, the dirt face, of course, was real scary.
At the time, Abel said she was praying that the assailants would run out of gas on the open road. She also questioned whether she would ever be able to forgive her great grandson. "I don't know how he could do that to me. I told Dylan I loved him and things, but I guess that doesn't matter." There's her house, by the way. Did you ever see her?
no, I never saw her house.
That's the house.
Oh, nice little ranch.
Yeah. Lawn is well manicured.
It is. It's well put together,
Mm-hmm.
well maintained.
I don't know if she's doing that work, if she's doing the heavy lifting on that lawn, or if she's got someone doing it for her.
Imagine
but-
she's got a son or grandson doing that.
Well, he owes her a shitload of lawn mowings in 9.5 years.
Great
That's
grandson.
all I know
does, yeah.
about. Should we try and call her?
Absolutely.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm like 99% certain she's not going to answer the phone. We tricked her last time. We called her at an obnoxious hour at Jay's demand. And
No, that's, okay.
we called her at a ridiculous hour and woke her up. We kind of leaning on the, well, I don't know. It was 8:00 in the morning here. It was only 4:00 or whatever. I think we called her.
She was not happy.
Yeah. So we woke her up. I imagine at this hour while morning time in Washington State, if she's thinking clearly, she's probably not going to answer the phone, but we can try her. Go ahead. Dial her up. See if we can get any word on how she's feeling. Again, like I said, my guess is she won't answer. Hazel Abel.
Screamed, but nobody heard me.
She's a 2-ring answerer, isn't she? In the past.
Hello. No one is available
Yeah,
to
I
take
told
your
you.
call.
Did leave
Well,
a
we
message?
tried. We had to do our due diligence.
Yeah. Killity.
We've been negligent not to call Hayes
Yeah.
Label after that news.
Yeah, it would have been very irresponsible as broadcasters not to follow up on the outcome of this story. You know, I mean, anyway, maybe
Well, it was a lot of information that I hadn't had.
she's my favorite, dude. She's awesome. Maybe we'll try her again at some weird hour. See if we can can't get her to answer
Yeah.
again, but
Try her again in the future.
just see live with Kelly.
Scrubbed everything of Michael Strahan in the building, right?
Yeah,
It's as
well-
if he never existed.
That was the reports over the weekend of what was going to happen. I guess that wasn't necessarily true yet. But the show formerly known as Live with Kelly and Michael has changed its name and dropped the Strahan part. Obviously, it will now just be called Live with Kelly. They posted a message on Facebook Sunday night telling viewers to reset their DVRs to reflect the name change. The show's profile picture also went from saying Live with Kelly and Michael to simply Live Kelly. Yeah, they had their last awkward show on Friday where I guess she was just being kind of cunty to him like that whole week. Just throwing I was watching one of them live when this happened. She was like getting into this story and she's like, yeah, I don't have any experience with this, but I know you do, Michael. So I wanted to get your opinion on this. And so this couple got divorced and Michael just gives this look. He just kind of goes, rolls his eyes and he looks like off camera. And he's just like, okay, I don't know where we're going with this, but it was just little shots like that were apparently going on all week.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway,
Poor Kelly's been so wronged.
yeah. Right. However will she do with her $20 million a year job?
I like they asked the viewers to reset their DVR schedules to reflect the name. Like what?
Yeah, I
Probably
guess
doesn't pick it up if it's under the prior name.
They changed it. Okay, I thought it was like more of a thing. Never mind. Okay, I gotcha.
So the rumor was that they were going to strip, like they had pictures, obviously, in any of these studios, like in the hallways, the green room, they'll have pictures of the host. And it was like, get them down. Get all of them out of there with anything with Strahan in it. Fuck him. Get him out of there. Anyway, they said all that shit's going to be boxed up and taken away, replaced with new pictures of just Kelly.
Any word on who's next?
Well, Jimmy Kimmel filled in this morning.
Really?
Which Jimmy Kimmel is too hardcore for a show like that. Jimmy Kimmel's no bullshit, and he was great. He came out this when I was watching the beginning of it. He sits down. They always do this corny thing where they pull the chair out for Kelly. Michael would always pull it out. Kimmel just comes and sits down and just kind of like, yeah, there's your chair. Do what you will with it. He doesn't play that game with her. But then he sits down. The first thing out of his mouth is, so where's Michael? She's just like, oh shit. And he's like, yeah, I was on Stern this morning, and he had a list of about 75 questions to ask you. Do you mind if I run down some of them? And he pulls out a piece of paper with all these questions.
Oh man.
Asking if she wore panties on the set, and if she'll ever speak to Michael Strahan again.
She answer any of these?
Yeah, he was directing some of them at Gelman. You ever speak to?
Gelman's still around? I
Yeah.
remember that guy from decades ago.
Yeah, he was there with Regis.
Yeah.
But it was pretty funny seeing this guy who's clearly more edgy than what that show's audience is.
Yeah.
Seeing him on there, Kimmel's the best, man. I don't know. Were you around when he came in studio? You wouldn't have been around then.
Not.
He was probably my favorite guest that was ever on. Came in
Isn't he
studio
around at Super Bowl time? Did
Yeah.
he do a show down there?
Yes, which is why he came in studio. But he was just great, just a cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard negative things about Jimmy Kimmel. And he was just the nicest dude. His whole crew was awesome. His band guys are like friends from high school and shit. And just really cool guys and a great interview. So yeah, it was cool to see him on there. This week so he was the first one. They had Gordon Ramsay on and Jussie Smollett from Empire, I guess, is going to co-host tomorrow. I don't watch that show.
Yeah.
And then Cedric the Entertainer.
Oh my
What?
God.
What?
Yeah, David Muir from ABC World News Tonight, I guess, is going to be on there. Daniel Day Kim.
No idea.
Yeah, you do, from Lost. Wasn't he
Daniel Kim.
I think he was from Lost.
The Asian dude.
The Asian guy in
Gotcha.
Lost. Yes, very good. Fred Savage is going to co-host like next
Fred
week.
Savage.
Seal.
I know Fred Savage has a show right now, I guess. So
Is it an ABC show?
it's actually a Fox show.
Is this how Kelly got her start though? Kind of like a guest co-host.
Probably.
Didn't what's her name leave and Reed just kind of have this string of guests and
Yeah.
she just kind of
It's kind of how they do it.
was the main one.
Mm-hmm. Andy Cohen will step in and co-host later this month. I wonder. I don't know if this is the first time I'm not seeing Anderson Cooper's name on this list. I don't know why he would do that, but I know he's really, really good friends with her. So
Just looking for a fit. They'll just put a bunch of people in day to day, and whoever seems to fit, they might run with.
yeah, I guess.
Like, shit, man. Fred Savage kicks ass with Kelly for whatever reason. They just have this great chemistry.
Yeah,
All of a sudden, it's Kelly and Fred.
yeah.
Live with Kelly and Fred.
It's amazing. Like chemistry doesn't seem like something that's terribly necessary in a show like that. It's so vanilla.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just playing to housewives that are home in the morning.
Mhm.
And it's very vanilla. And I don't know. Kelly Ripa kind of came off bad through this whole thing, in the end. But
yeah, that's the thing to me. And then she's gonna be the one staying on. Like everyone, I don't know. It just seems
Seems like a baby. Prima
Yeah.
donna.
yeah, bitching about, I mean, anytime you're collecting $20 million a year, you shouldn't be bitching about anything. I'm sorry.
just about the notice because you didn't give enough notice that Michael's leaving this show.
Disrespect, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. That would piss you off, but still, I think you got to man up and be above that.
Show up for work.
Yeah, do your thing. She only skipped out on one day, but still. Yeah. Anyway, are you familiar with Wendell Pierce? Did you guys watch The Wire? I'm sure you didn't, Jay.
I didn't.
Critically acclaimed, huge show.
It's on HBO or Showtime. Showtime. Wasn't it?
The Wire, one of those. Yeah, I'm not sure. I've watched some of it, not enough of it though.
Baltimore Police or some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that. He starred in that. He was also on The Confirmation, that HBO documentary about the judge who has put pubic hair in my Coke.
Oh, okay.
That HBO was running
Clarence
promos
Thomas.
for. Yeah, he played Clarence Thomas in that. He was arrested over the weekend, early Sunday morning, in an Atlanta hotel room. He got into a casual conversation with two other hotel guests, and the subject turned to the Democratic primaries. And he's apparently a huge fan of Hillary Clinton. And this couple he was talking to were feeling the burn. And so he ends up getting into a fist fight with this dude over Bernie Sanders versus Hillary Clinton.
Wow.
Yeah. They say that he allegedly assaulted this woman and her boyfriend at the Midtown Lowe's Hotel around 3:30 in the morning. Gee, I wonder if alcohol was involved in that. The couple were supporters of Bernie and said he became enraged when the unknown woman declared her support for Bernie. Pierce, who most recently starred in the HBO drama Confirmation, allegedly pushed the male victim and then went after his girlfriend, grabbing her hair and smacking her in the head.
I know it's not funny, but
Yeah, no, it's kind of funny. Sources said that that's kind of bullshit, though. They're like, oh, no, he was fighting with the guy, and then she got involved. And so,
Right. Gotcha.
scuffled. He was arrested and released, but yeah, arrested on battery charges. Good Lord, man. What's up, man?
Perspective. Come on.
How much are we seeing this, though, with these supporters of Hillary or Bernie showing up and being assholes, disrupting things, fighting with people? I know people love to say it's at the Trump rally, but those people are showing up at those rallies and fucking with people.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
I imagine the whole substance of the fight wasn't like, Hillary versus Bernie, but maybe it started that way. And then it's like, fuck off, man. And then
Yeah.
it's, oh, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
Your hair's fucked up. Look at your teeth. You suck.
Yeah.
And it goes from there like any other fight with strangers.
Yeah. And then
and like you said, 3:30 in the morning.
3:30 in the morning. Yeah.
Probably pretty sober, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nothing.
it's possible that you could be sober at 3:30 in the morning, I suppose, in a hotel arguing about Bernie Sanders.
Yeah. There's very little good that's going on at 3:30 in the morning ever. Outside of hookers and Coke, there's very little positive that's happening at 3:30 in the morning.
Very little.
Yeah. Another one of these nurses, by the way, has gotten in some shit. One of these nurses that can't keep his hands off the chicks, a male nurse.
Got a Fokker, do we?
Yeah, we got a Greg Fokker. Woman went to the hospital with severe abdominal pain on Christmas Eve 2013. Remembered feeling out of it after getting a dose of morphine. But as she came to,
Oh, boy. Well, at least he's not a selfish lover.
she realized her hospital gown was open and a male nurse was touching and kissing her titties. You know, if you're going to do this, and I want to go on record and say this is obnoxious. It should not be permitted. Laws should be set that say that you cannot just inappropriately touch a woman's titties or kiss her, especially in a profession like nurse. But if you are going to do that, don't you think that you should make sure your patient is out?
Either that or the story also better include that he was masturbating. Because otherwise, like, what are you doing, man? What's the end game?
Yeah.
Isn't the whole thing to get off? Like, I don't get these guys who just fondle shit or just finger somebody and then walk away.
Yeah.
I just don't get it, man.
Yeah, you're all about the finish, though. The finish is a really,
Who isn't
really,
all about the
That's
finish?
what it's all about. And that's the same thing I used to say about the female teachers. Like, it's one thing if they were getting, you know, drilled, but when they were given just blowjobs, I'm like,
what
dude,
is
you're
the
risking
end game, man, if you're not getting off?
it could be building to something. I don't
No,
know.
this isn't like an intimate relationship where you're building this emotional bond. No, you're feeling titties to get sexually excited. So then you just want to like walk away and think about that later or think about it for the rest of the night. No, you better have your dick in your hand.
Yeah, maybe he goes to the bathroom with his newfound feel of titties and then goes to the bathroom and finishes himself off. I don't know. I don't know what the end game is either.
I don't get it.
But, you know, why
Can
do
a
guys
creep explain this to me?
Why do guys walk by a chick on the bus and just brush up against a titty or an ass?
I don't know. That's the same question.
Yeah, I know, but you know that happens. It's not, they don't have to have their dick out. It's just, I don't know.
You've done that, haven't you?
No, I have not.
No, you're identifying with these people.
I'm absolutely
then
not.
why are you throwing them out there as like some further example?
I'm just throwing another example out there of shit that goes on that
and it totally just falls into what I said. I mean, what is the deal with that? Why are you brushing up against a titty with your arm? You're not going to stand there and get off on it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a good answer. So she says, I laid there still, seemingly frozen when she was discharged. Her nurse, Thomas Moore, told her, "I'll find you, sweetie." Gross. Oh, that's so gross. She told nobody, even when Moore allegedly sent her a Facebook friend request days later, a year and a half after her discharge from the hospital. She reported Moore to the police.
Oh, you get a Facebook friend request by this creep?
Well, some people are into different things. I don't know.
Barbecue sauce.
That report set off an investigation that turned up 8 other women who alleged that Moore had fondled, groped, or kissed them at hospitals in Colorado and Nebraska over 2 years.
Please tell me he had his dick in his hand during those. I'd have more respect.
I don't think so.
Damn it.
Nobody mentions his dick being out. Moore was arrested in December. He's charged with inappropriately touching 7 women in Colorado, 3 in Nebraska. His case highlights how easy it can be for nurses who are fired or forced out of their jobs over alleged misconduct to find work elsewhere, in part because some of the states, they don't, they're not on links, so they don't know that you were a creep in Vermont and now you're here in Colorado.
To be a creep.
Yeah. The hospitals apparently knew about some alleged misconduct by Moore. If that shit's floating out there, misconduct stuff where you're fucking with a patient, don't you think that's just automatic, unhireable?
You'd think, yeah.
I would think that would, like, even if there's
splaining to do, major splaining.
Yeah, until that's at least resolved.
Right.
Until you can go, no, those were bullshit allegations by a scorned whatever, and okay, we've resolved that and we know that was bullshit. Let's proceed. But if that's just floating out there in a profession like that,
yeah, you'd think there'd be enough nurses out there that, I don't know, maybe it's hard to find nurses in certain areas, and you're like, well, especially
Colorado?
males, maybe males, maybe there's a quota or some shit.
Maybe. He was terminated from 3 hospitals before he was arrested. That right there should tell you something. Bree Atkins, director of the Colorado Coalition Against Sexual Assault, said sex offenders often go undetected because most victims don't go to authorities because they don't want to be subjected to scrutiny and they may blame themselves for what happened. There's still a lot of shame around that. Well, we don't want to shame anybody. You know how that goes. Some of the women also may have wondered whether they would be believed since they were under the influence of painkillers, which is a fair argument. We've seen people wake up from those dental procedures and they're, they think someone's killing them, or, I mean, we've seen that kind of thing before. So I guess anything's possible. I don't know. If I was in a hospital and kind of under the influence and I came to, and some nurse was had rubbed my panus, right? Like, would I really take, to me, it's like, you got me. You got a panoozle rub. what am I going to do?
Kinda
Unless
laugh
someone,
it off, right?
unless some dude's like blowing you or something. I don't see, here's the thing. I don't see myself going to the police station and going through that whole thing and then ended up in a courtroom somewhere. Now, if someone's drilling me from behind in my bed, that's a different story. But if it's just a groping,
What if you're a chick though? Does it
That's
make a
the
difference?
thing, though.
I don't know. Well, I'm trying to understand why this girl would wait a year and a half to go. I don't know. I could just see if it was just simple, like I'm sure chicks are different, but whatever.
They're definitely different.
Are they? If some guy just touched your titty in a hospital, you definitely go to the police over that?
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of them don't, and I'm trying to understand why. And the only thing I can come up with is, yeah, I wouldn't either, unless it was something really violating. I don't think I would spend the time and energy to go report it and deal with it and all that shit. Even when the patients risked speaking out and authorities were notified, they said nothing happened. In August of 2014, a woman told police that Moore had tried to grope her titties. She wanted to warn authorities, but didn't want to press charges. After Moore was arrested, the detective contacted this girl again, and so she's jumped in this lawsuit too. But,
Gross.
yeah. I've never fully understood this.
I've suspected it, man, as I've been out that they're taking a peek and shit, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't have any
I've heard
evidence that I've been gross.
Oh, they're looking. They're looking.
Yeah.
Even
I
the
know they
females,
are.
even the females, if they're not a lot of female girls, obviously, tend not to be as perverted as guys. So yeah, they're not probably sucking you off or giving you a hand job,
Probably not.
but they're looking. You think people like the best of the world aren't
What would you
looking
do
at
though,
penises?
E, if you woke up and there was a nurse and she's a 5?
Okay,
Let's just say she's a 5,
You'd
and,
be fine with it.
and you wake up and she's blowing you.
I'm definitely fine with it.
See, at certain stages of my life, I probably would have been fine with it too. I mean, obviously, with a girlfriend or a wife, that changes things. But
Well, whoa.
um,
You couldn't just kind of let it, it's
Yeah.
happening.
yeah, it's
You
already
didn't choose
happening.
to have it happen. You were out.
Yeah.
You're being taken advantage of, Mike.
Yeah. Do you let it finish?
I'm just saying.
And claim victimhood, complete victimhood. You're powerless.
What I
Yeah.
think your play needs to be, Mike, if in this situation, you need to wake up, see that it's happening, and then kind of close your eyes back and just pretend like you don't understand that it's going on, just in case.
It's not a bad move, E.
And then just if Beth walks in, kind of be like, oh, what?
Thought that was
Definitely a
you.
viable move.
Right? You're under the
You
influence
can't
of
wake
some
up.
sort.
You're right. You can't wake up fully and acknowledge, put your hands back and be like, oh yeah. You just have to oh yeah.
Beth would be hard pressed to argue that, you wanted it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that'd be a ballsy move for a female nurse to pull. Now, if it was a male nurse, immediate charges pressed.
Oh
immediate.
my God.
Son of a bitch.
Take
Does
it.
he think he is? I wonder. I don't know that it happened to this 23-year-old woman who went to the hospital. I'm not sure. I'd like to see more evidence of her.
This is crazy.
Look at this poops bit on this chick's arm.
A little shark, man,
She's got
bit her
a 2-foot shark attached to her arm.
and wouldn't let go.
Nope. No, it's mine. I caught it fair and square. Get away. 23-year-old woman, and I'd love to see more.
Images of her.
Yeah, I really would. I don't know if there are any out there. They haven't named her, but if you just say Shark Attack Florida woman,
Oh yeah.
it's everywhere. She was taken to the hospital with the 2-foot long shark still attached to her forearm. She was treated at a hospital in Boca Raton over the weekend and expected to be released. So she was already released. The
Clearly,
baby,
the shark didn't make it. So there's probably people bitching about that, right?
I don't know. It's a nurse shark,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting. I'm not familiar with the nurse shark. He's a cute little guy, though.
He is.
Look at
She
him.
is.
Look
He
at that
is.
poops.
Why did I assume a nurse shark was a female? Even after that last story, I said she is a
Yeah.
cute little.
Well, nurse, Yeah, they say that the shark died. He didn't make it.
yeah.
Before fire and rescue came on the scene, which is gross in and of itself. One witness was telling the Sun Sentinel that this poops had been attacked or provoked.
See, there's going to be people bitching that this thing died. Like, couldn't
Yeah.
you just lift it in the water and let it release on its own? People are going to bitch about that. You watch.
Well, a lifeguard, police officer, and fire rescue were on the scene, but the shark's teeth remained firmly lodged in the woman's arm. There's no way you'd stay put in the water though if that was you.
No.
You'd totally get out. Anybody would. You can't fault her for running out of the water. 11-year-old witness Nate Patrick said that he saw the woman and her friends holding the shark by its tail and messing with it before the animal lashed out. He defended the nurse shark, which can grow up to 14 feet. It's a big-ass shark, man. Sharks are the most humane thing ever, so it wouldn't bite them if they hadn't been messing with it. They're slow-moving. They have strong jaws along with razor-sharp serrated teeth. The animals will bite defensively if they're stepped on or bothered by humans. Wee poops.
Taken to the hospital. The nurse.
Yep, going on a ride to the hospital.
God, what do you do? Take some pliers to it or what?
I don't know, man.
Cut it in half, kill it.
Oh, no. He caught her fair and square. She was messing with his tail.
Just kill it and then release its jaws.
I guess it eventually will relax slowly. You move slow.
Like when it dies.
Sort of, yeah. But then he releases his bite and then you're cool. But man, they're razor sharp, so I'm sure it did some damage.
Nothing.
No pics of her? Are you finding the story?
Yeah, the story's here. It's just kind of the same picture you have. Different. I mean, here's a video. Maybe this, but I haven't looked at it.
Well, let's give it a look.
In Boca Raton on Sunday, May 15th, a 23-year-old woman was bitten by a 2-foot nurse shark while swimming in the water. The shark latched onto the woman's arm and she was taken to the hospital with the shark still hanging onto her arm.
Seems like there were some guys just looking at a little reef there, and suddenly they start calling the lifeguard. And little we know, there was a girl with the right hand, and a nurse shark bit her.
Yeah, there's some concerning features.
They just walk out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Call the lifeguard.
I mean, she doesn't look hot.
Get the shark out of their arm. So
I think it's premature. Too premature.
Some witnesses say they saw the woman antagonizing
that's an
the shark
ugly
and
shark,
grabbing
man.
by its
What is?
tail
What's up with his
before
eyes? Is he blind? Looks like a sock puppet.
It's like a dick. That shark looks like a dick.
Sort of. Okay. She's cute. She looks younger than 23.
Stays on their arm.
The woman was transported to Boca Raton Regional Hospital in stable condition. For the Sun Sentinel, I'm Maria Lorenzino.
Fins.
Those are fins? They look like ears.
They did.
Ears.
They look like ears.
Big floppy ears.
It's a shark.
I know.
Ears.
They look like ears. Did they not?
I mean, yeah, but
See, all you had to do was let go. You'd be fine right now. Swimming around trying to bite other people.
Yeah. Well, don't pick him up by his tail. It's not his fault.
Her fault. Whatever.
Yeah. Her fault. His. Yeah, right. I haven't seen this video yet. E, I want you to pull this up of this woman doing the newscast in Los Angeles, local LA news station.
Oh, I saw a still of this. The dress she's wearing.
Yeah. Yeah. She was taking some shit for it. And now the whole team is taking some shit for this because they forced this meteorologist to cover up with a cardigan live on the air when viewers complained about her sparkling black dress.
So this is a morning show. She's on with a sparkling black cocktail dress.
Yeah.
Kind of weird. Have you ever watched local news and thought, who the hell let that person wear that?
Yeah.
You ever thought that? I've thought that many, many times. Where it's just some weird animal print or something. You're like, that just looks weird on set. Isn't someone watching this? Isn't there quality control?
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks I mean, I don't know. It wouldn't have stood out to me. This particular thing wouldn't have stood out to me, but her name is Liberty Chan. She was delivering the 8 a.m. weather report when all of a sudden a gray cardigan sweater pops into frame. And she's like, what's going on? Do you have the video there, E?
Yeah,
that's a weird style choice.
Yeah.
Into tomorrow. What's going on? You want me to put this on? Why? Because it's cold?
I'm getting a lot of emails.
What?
Also weird that they would interrupt her and make her do that.
Yeah.
I look like a librarian now. I need.
That worked.
I just don't think
you want me to put
that big of a deal to me.
It's an awful style choice for a morning show, local news. That looks stupid. That's a cocktail dress. Like, what is she doing wearing that? But then to interrupt it, you just call attention to it. That's weird. That was really odd.
It's incredibly weird.
There's people emailing in.
I know who's emailing into the local.
Oh my goodness, I can't
It's not like
believe
it's risque. It's just
Yeah, you're
a
right.
stupid style choice.
Maybe it's a bad style choice, but yeah, it's not like sort of cleavage. It's
yeah,
like
her
hang-
titties aren't hanging out.
No, which would have been
I don't
nice.
see any areola.
No, not at all. She said if this were playing on, she says everyone's got an opinion on the dress this morning. That's what he says. The guy Chris Burrows, who's the morning anchor. She's like, well, all right, I'm sorry. The other dress didn't work. I had to wear something. The interruption quickly caught the attention, of course, of the Twitter world. And of course, it's just super sexist. Wow, KTLA, too sexist, or too shitty. Too much cleavage, too manly, too casual, too formal, too much body shaming. You could kind of see that she was fucking humiliated. Her dress was fine. If I was her, I would have walked off on air. This is beyond lame. Way to not stand behind your newscasters, KTLA. Burrows also received plenty of criticism, with one viewer saying he had been deeply misogynistic and degrading as hell. Yeah, doing that in the middle of the broadcast is bullshit. That would piss any woman off.
Bush League. I mean, it looks really, really bad.
So the Burrows guy took to Twitter and told viewers that half the emails they received expressed love for the dress while the others hated it. Problem solved. Here's our compromise. So he thinks this is going to be funny on Twitter, and people are just shitting all over him. Problem solved after you publicly shamed her. Someone writes back to him, no shame, just kidding. Offering up a sweater. Good friends, kid each other. Sorry, I offended. We have a good time. Now he's in fucking backpedal mode. Oh, shit. My job. I completely nobody buys your excuse. You humiliated her on air. Shame on you. I completely understand. Meant in jest, but I see how it happened. I am sorry. I hope you'll give me another chance. He brought her on the air to make peace with the dress. We kid each other all the time.
Don't we? Right?
Yeah, honey, huh? Elbow. The KTLA newscasters also revealed the nasty emails they received from morning viewers who were upset that she dared to wear a fun, sparkling dress on the AM newscast. Dress is totally inappropriate. Looks like she didn't make it home from her cocktail party.
It's true, man. Why would you wear that?
Weather girl looks like she never went home from last night's stripper gig. This doesn't seem like something that people in LA would be bitching about, though. Like if this was going on in
Omaha,
yeah, or some weird down south hick town or something, where you're like, this is inappropriate. But Los Angeles,
right?
I don't know. It seems weird to me. She turned to the camera and said, wow, okay, everyone, I had this dress on. She's holding up a different dress. Having the camera pan on a white and black pattern dress, it didn't work well, and I had a backup. That's it, people. I don't know why everyone's hating. I don't know what to tell you. You know, it's a black dress. I'm sorry if it was inappropriate. Yeah, I'd say that's rather inappropriate to actually make reference of it. Anyway, why don't we take a quick time out and gather? I need a coffee or something. And then I'll tell you about what's going on with the Coast Guard and that search we were talking about last night.
Yeah, the Carnival Cruise.
Yeah,
the woman overboard.
Yeah, exactly. We'll give you an update on that and more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey, it's Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zot Ford and Holly. We're closer than you think, and we have deals that do not stink. Zot Ford at I-75 and exit 98 is the only place you can lease the all-new 2016 Ford F-150 Super Crew four-wheel drive for $188 a month. That's correct. Zot Ford has F-150 Super Crews for just $188 per month. Check out our obnoxious deals and massive inventory at zotford.com. That's SZOTT.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
Well, that's all right.
All right, welcome back to the Detroit Cast.
A second salt show.
Yeah, it's a 2-salter today. As we just declared in the break, that was maybe the worst 40 minutes of talk we've ever done.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. This is not.
It's brutal.
Yeah. This is a tough one. Plowing through like men, Jay, and we'll do our best, but that is not a shareable. Don't share today's show. If you get the link to today's show, I wouldn't recommend sharing it.
I'm not even sure if you listen on.
Yeah.
I think you just stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us another chance tomorrow, maybe. I would say if you're hearing us right now at this point, I just,
If you're hearing us
what?
right now, you didn't listen to me 5 seconds. You should have stopped.
Yeah. So
I advise that you stop right now.
if you were listening 5 seconds ago, you shouldn't be hearing this right
No.
now. But I chalk it up like this. Even Cabrera goes 0 for 4 sometimes, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it happens.
it does.
Not comparing us to Cabrera in any way, but
Hey, do you want to hear the Wave app?
oh Jesus. This, you know what sucks, Jay? Okay, right out of the gate, we wanted to play some of this Wave app that we've been dicking around with, and it's in its infancy, but we think it's a cool toy. And the guys at Wave reached out to us, wanting us to be a part of this kind of a pilot run, and so we're all kind of in a shitty mood today to begin with. So it doesn't help that we had some technical issues with it, but whatever. We plugged my phone into it, and so. It's just another social media tool, basically. No one's listening to us anymore right now anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But if there's a couple stragglers.
Should I play an example?
Yeah, go ahead and play an
All
example.
right, this is the one I mentioned before that Joel did. Ease $1,000 all-night grinding offer. And like I said, we just offered this out to like 10 or so listeners to give it a try. Frequent emailers and stuff, people who usually have a take on things. So here's Joel's take.
Let the record show that I now verbally still have my $50 or $60 offer on the table for a hand job. What I'd like to do now is take E's offer for $1,000 to grind on me all night.
Whew.
Yep.
Wow, Joel.
Okay.
He's doubling down.
And the cool thing is, if we want to, we can respond to these. Other listeners can jump in and respond to that statement.
You had someone else. You can text a response or verbally respond. And so there's a text response. Joel, you need help, my man. I mean, seriously. Another guy says, that's easy money, E. Take the money.
Kind of agree with him.
And this is what E responded verbally this morning.
All right, E, you just heard that. What's your response to Joel?
If I see a real bank check that's going to cash for $1,000, I will do it.
You'll do what?
I will grind on this dude all night.
In what manner?
Sexual.
Yeah?
Yes.
All over him, like up and down his
Sure.
leg?
Yep, sure.
All over his face?
Sure. Anything. Not naked,
You'll grind
but maybe like
your clothed panoose all over his face?
not naked, but boxers, maybe a thong.
Thong.
But
Yeah.
Thong, huh?
maybe I said. I didn't say officially to that.
Probably a thong?
No, I did not say that. Probably boxers, but
Between probably and maybe?
sure. But I need it has to be a real check.
How about cash?
Whatever. If he wants to give $100 bills and throw them in the air or something, make it rain, that's fine.
How about 2050s?
Any denomination of bills,
How about 1,000 ones?
that's fine too. Not in the pennies though. I'm not getting into like a million pennies.
10,000 pennies?
No.
100,000.
Don't want that?
No, it has to be either like dollar bills or a check.
How about
I was going to PayPal as well.
500 twos?
That'd be
That would be sweet.
So that was E's 1 minute response to Joel. Kind of cool, right?
Yeah. I think
And
that's
then
very cool.
Other people can chime in and add to that. I mean, can you imagine a thread that started out, do you like Big E? And then
Yes.
just the responses we might get.
that we can then play back on the
Yeah.
show. Do you like Big E? Talk about whatever topics were brought up on the show. Talk about anything,
Right.
really. Any other examples you wanted to play? Again, the app is Wave, WAVVE.
All right,
Hit the App Store.
Here's one. So new listener asked the following question.
So I've been listening to the Detroit Cast for a consecutive week now. I've been binge drinking a little bit more, dropping lots of F-bombs, and I'm more up to speed on political current events. I'm not sure if this is actual side effects or this is just what happens when you listen long term, but let me know. Let me know if there's anything else I should know that's going to be happening. But this is Baird from the Wave team. Appreciate all of you all getting on the app and testing it out. Feel free to post anything, everything. It's all fair game. And I want to get Big E on here. That's my next goal. I'm going to get on Mike and Jay and see if we can get him in here chatting it up too. But let me know if you guys have any questions, and appreciate you guys using the app.
There you go.
Yeah. And then you can leave responses, for example.
Yeah, a couple of things, Baird. Anytime you see something sad posted online, it's going to be really hard not to write thoughts, prayers, and all that shit. Second is anytime you hear somebody's age, you're immediately going to go, you're not 100. Get ready for it.
Yeah. So just another
It's
example.
true. Very cool. So anyway, if you want to play along, it's open. The Wave app. And we'll try it out as we go and see what's there and see if people like it. But I see potential.
Definitely.
Like I say, it could be fun to play some of that during the email segment. It's kind of a verbal email.
Hey, spring's upon us, and our friends at Zott Ford and Holly want to celebrate the season with a smoking hot deal for all TDC listeners. Right now, and only at Zott Ford, you can lease a brand new 16 Ford Escape for only $188 per month for 24 months with zero cash due at signing. There's no better time to dump your busted-out, beat-down hoopty and upgrade to a sweet new Ford Escape with our friends at Zott Ford. Surf their stunning deals and massive inventory at ZottFord.com.
So, E, are you having any regrets about about Joel's offer and you taking him up on it?
No. $1,000.
$1,000.
I'll pay for vacation for sure.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I mean, the ball is officially in Joel's court now. I mean, he's been talking a big game.
Yeah. He's called his bluff.
Yeah. Where is this taking place, by the way? I don't want this over here. I don't want to be upstairs just knowing there's some freak sex show between
Well, if Joel's going to pay for it, he gets to pick. Probably his bedroom.
Yeah. I'm not going to my house, obviously.
Why not? That'd be fun.
No. So I don't know. I don't know if SARS where, but $1,000. That money has to be. I have to have that in my.
You're
hand.
going to get a hard on when you rub all over him.
Yeah.
So
I
then
won't,
what?
But
be natural, rubbing on it.
You're going to waste a boner. Are you going to waste a boner?
He might.
You're going to. You're going to be rubbing your glands up and down a man's leg.
That's not going to.
You will get a boner.
Dude, if you rub it on a tree long enough, you'll get erect. I mean,
I swung mine at a ping pong ball like 3 times, hit it against my leg, and I started to get a boner.
I assumed it was just going to be my ass. I did not assume I was rubbing my dick on him.
Wait, of course you're rubbing your dick on him.
Yeah, unless you're doing the worst lap dance ever.
That's not how.
You're definitely going to back your ass up to his face, unquestionably. You're going to push that into his nose. But yeah, the main part is you're going to be straddling him. You're going to have your.
I think you go, dude. I think you go big. I think if you start like doing the hump face thing to him, and maybe just start clipping his nose with your dickhead, he might tap out.
Right.
It might actually bum him out. You take your $1,000 and you're done.
That's a great point.
The $1,000 has to be in my hand before I start doing.
Maybe it'd be better to do raw dick and not deal with the little bikini.
Like that.
Just whip out the raw dick and start going to town on him.
Not doing that.
I would recommend taking his shirt off. I've seen chicks do that in strip clubs too, where they take the guy's shirt off. Kind of gets hotter.
But you're definitely straddling him.
Whatever. But I'm not gonna be naked. That's not happening.
No, that's all right.
I said that in the thing that those were the.
You said thong or boxers.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And the $1,000 has to be in my hand before it starts.
100,000 pennies.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. So we'll see. We'll keep you updated as to where that goes. I mentioned the Coast Guard. Last night we were talking about the chick that fell off the Carnival cruise ship in the Gulf of Mexico over the weekend, and they've called off the search for her.
I thought their parents still holding out hope then.
Probably not. Samantha Broberg was her name. She was seen on ship surveillance footage scaling a railing at the Carnival Liberty's 10th deck moments before she fell overboard. A desperate search ensued for 3 days. They finally called off the search last night while we were doing the show, about 8:15 last night. Based on video analysis, we can confirm that it appears she climbed up and sat on a deck railing and subsequently fell backwards.
Oof.
So what's going on there? What is she?
Drunk. Just fucked up.
You think so? I mean that sounds like suicide almost, more than. I mean, I don't know why you would sit on a deck railing like that.
Yeah, if you're all alone, you're right. She's got a couple of friends hanging with her, though. That's certainly something that.
Yeah,
look at me. I'm the king of the world.
Experts did say the waters would be warm enough that she could survive that. However, the search has still now been suspended. Carnival Cares team is providing support to the guests, traveling companions, and family. We're keeping our guest and her loved ones in our thoughts during this difficult time and all that shit, which is good.
I like your idea, man, about the little transponder and the bracelet.
Yeah.
Every cruiser just gets one of those little plastic bracelets, much like E is wearing right now.
Yeah.
Probably has had that on for 3 weeks or something.
No, 2 nights.
Yeah, one of those. If it's true that you can really put a little transponder in there.
They do that for kids. Like, I know moms can buy or parents can buy little bracelets that their kids wear.
I did not know that.
I'm almost positive of that. That
sounds reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, like we had with the dog. You know, you can get them for your dog chipped or whatever. Or you can get little necklaces that they wear. Those are a little clunkier, but if every passenger just, it's just part of the deal where for an extra $10,
yeah,
you pay for this thing with your kids, and if you lose them at a port somewhere,
I guess maybe the industry's in denial right now. Like, it happens so infrequently. We don't want to cause alarm.
Yeah.
Like, hey, in case you fall over. But dude, it's happening enough.
It happens enough. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, what's the problem just throwing one of those on?
Yeah.
Everybody wears those every other weekend for something,
Yeah, and don't they wear them on those things all the time anyway? I just always assume that you're wearing a bracelet like that to get back on the boat when you port somewhere.
Yeah, I don't remember, maybe.
I've never been on one, so I'm really talking out of school here, but it seems like you would. I don't know. It just seems like an easy thing to do. Passengers described feeling saddened about hearing the news of Ms. Broberg's disappearance. Our steward came into our room, checked our closets, checked the bathroom, looked on the bed, looked out our balcony. I mean, they did a very thorough search. We knew it wasn't going to end well when the last few updates came out. She said, "Would you please just keep this family in your thoughts and prayers?"
Oof.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
Doesn't bode well. We didn't find her under the bed. She must be off.
Yeah.
I know this is a bad situation for this girl because she died. But man, dude, you save all year. You're ready for your cruise. You want to go to the buffet or the casino. And now you're sitting here having to do roll call.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
well,
I mean.
So you're worried about selfishly worried about yourself having to deal with roll call. Yeah.
I want to go to the freaking deck and sit by the pool. I don't want to sit in my room.
Well, all you got to do is go here.
It is a bitch being part of a society,
I hate it.
I know. Just the shit. You sit in traffic because asshole 50 cars up was too stupid and texted and bumped into another guy. And so everybody's sitting there. I get you, E. I feel you, man.
But this is your vacation too, Like I said, some people only get a lot of people only do one a year. Now, sometimes people are lucky enough to, of course, do a few trips but some people might do this. Might be their whole year, dude, going on this cruise.
And it's not to mention, like, that might be kind of upsetting, like, to kids and stuff. Like, what's happening? Oh, lady fell overboard.
Would you tell your kids?
That's a good point.
I mean, if they ask me what's going on, I don't know. There's a lady missing. Like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that's easy.
I think if she doesn't find, I don't think you.
Yeah, they're just doing security checks, honey. Don't worry about it. It's not like your kids are gonna be scrolling.
If they ask
the
right
news
questions, I'll be honest with them.
Yeah, you will. I bet you will. That would suck. I mean, as you're falling off the boat and hitting the water, and then you pop back up to. I mean,
and there it goes. You see the lights in the distance.
Yes. Wouldn't you just be like, oh, someone had to see that?
Yeah.
They're coming back.
Help! They can't fucking
And then it
hear
just gets
you.
quiet. All you hear is the waves crashing.
You're just sitting in the middle, and it's dark on the ocean, man. If you're out there, it is.
And those waves
dark.
are big.
Yeah, they are. And you're just bobbing out there, and this is how it ends for me.
That's
This is how it ends. At some point, I'm going to cramp, or my legs are going to get really tired, and then you're done.
Do you even start swimming one way?
You wouldn't even know which way to swim.
I know.
Because even if it looks like
I think I saw Cuba to my left yesterday. I don't know.
Like even if you saw land, it's probably, it could be miles and miles. Like, you're not swimming there, dude. No, you're not.
Just hoping for some fisher boat to come by, right? Like
Yeah.
within distance to.
and the odds they're out there at 3 a.m. I mean, it's going to be, you're talking about a good 10 hours before you can even think about someone being aware of this. Oh, your family would think you just shacked up with some dude. And they probably wouldn't even get concerned until 24 hours later. Yeah, this isn't good.
Oh, it'd be an awful way to go.
Yeah.
At best, you get eaten by a shark within the first hour. Best case scenario.
Yeah, but it takes a leg off and you just bleed out.
Yeah, and then the feeding frenzy begins and it ends. Otherwise, you just
That's
bob
your
there.
worst nightmare.
I know, dude,
is
but
being eaten by something.
It's awful, but at least it's a quick ending in that
The best
scenario.
case is that you just died as soon as you hit the water, isn't it? Wouldn't that be
Yeah,
more-
that is. You break your neck.
Oh, for sure.
Falling off that
Or the
thing.
water is so cold, depending on where you are. I
No,
mean,
they said it would be warm.
Okay,
or warm
never mind.
enough.
So let's say you survive the fall. You bob there for what? 3 days?
No, dude. I couldn't bob for 15 minutes. I mean, what do? Do you do the float on your back thing?
Yeah, you do it all, man.
Yeah.
Do the little breaststroke thing for a while. You tread water. You float on your back.
Try to find something. A log floating
You're
by.
so fucked. You're so fucked.
Yeah. I'm shocked that they don't have something nets. You know what I mean? Apple in China, they have nets on the side of the building because so many people are like, fuck this, I quit.
Yeah.
And they just jump to their
Suicide
death.
nets.
Yeah, they have those suicide safety
Don't
nets.
they? That's a good point. Couldn't you just have nets?
That's not aesthetically pleasing. You look at the Pacific Princess with nets, it's not the same Love Boat, man.
Yeah, I suppose.
Right?
But, yeah.
Doesn't have the same lines to it.
But why not have you could
just one on the bottom. It just
Right.
catches you. Doesn't have to be all the way up. I mean, if you fall 10 stories, you fall 10 stories.
Why
but
doesn't everybody just wear a cable?
it just drags you along
Yeah.
till the next port.
Everybody clips a cable on when they go out to the deck.
I like that too. That's not a bad idea. And then it just, there's a few guys out in the water just being bobbed along. Yeah, we're solving problems here. We could figure this out.
Transponder's probably the easiest. Throw a little plastic bracelet on, but
Yeah.
I like the cable too.
Yeah, cable's not a bad idea.
Belt and suspender approach.
Remember the two kids that went missing off Florida last year?
They happen to be Joe Namath's neighbors. Remember that?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The kid with that amazing hairline.
Crazy
hair. Helmet hair. It's
lot of hair.
unbelievable. Yeah. That son of a bitch was never going to bald. He just wasn't.
No.
The mother of one of the boys who went missing at sea, has requested a forensic investigation of their fishing boat to be carried out amid fears they may have been abducted. Is this a mom who just can't?
Probably. But I guess it's not beyond the realm, right? The whole Natalie Holloway thrown into sexual slavery.
Yeah.
Right? Taken to Haiti or some shit. I don't know. Traded around.
Pamela Cohen, she's the mother of Perry Cohen, who vanished when fishing with his buddy Austin Stephanos. And her family believe that the teens may have been abducted. I don't know where she gets that from.
Just the fact that the boat was found intact, right? It was found intact with one of their cell phones sitting in there. So it's not as if it was like turned over and things
Smashed.
sunk. Yeah.
Ms. Cohen has written via her lawyer to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement requesting the examination. Austin and Perry vanished on a fishing trip 9 months ago, and their bodies have never been found. Their boat was finally located about 100 miles off of Bermuda. Austin's iPhone 6 was intact inside, despite being submerged in salt water. They sent it to Apple, and they were like, "Yeah, this phone is not salvageable due to the length of time it had been in the water." Official reports into Perry and Austin's disappearance revealed that the two families had differing theories from the offset, with Perry's stepfather, Nick, immediately raising fears that they'd been abducted. So he's talking his wife into believing this. He and Miss Cohen have wanted the boat subjected to this full forensic exam. I don't know what you're looking for, DNA of some sort from someone else in there.
So what happens? They get tossed out of there and the boat remains upright?
Yeah, or
it's possible.
Yeah, one of them's fishing and falls in, and the other goes in to get him to help save him, and their boat gets away from him. And they're
supposedly they were really, really experienced boaters, fishermen, despite their young age.
Yeah, they've lived on the water.
It's not beyond the realm, right? Human trafficking is big, Mike.
I know it is. Yeah.
But
I don't know. I guess
wishful thinking. If that's wishful thinking, that you're hoping your kid's alive and being butt raped every day by a Haitian.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't even want to think about that.
It's a grim scenario.
Yeah. I guess if you're a parent, though, why wouldn't you want
Your kid to be alive and butt raped by a Haitian every day?
What would you rather? He was butt raped by a Haitian every day or just dead?
Not sure, to be honest.
Really?
No, of course you'd want to.
You'd want an alive butt raped child.
You would.
I mean, even if it's going on for 9 months, like
you definitely would.
If it's gone on for 9 months, like 5 times average per day.
God.
I mean, that's broken. That's too damaged, I think. I think you just gotta let that go. Personally. E, would you want it back?
Well, I don't even want the kid in the start with, so it's probably I don't know what to tell you. I don't even want kids, so no.
No,
of course, I guess you would. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what people would want.
You want to see some pictures of some titties?
In what context?
Well, another one of these chicks that wants to. I love these movements. We saw the free the nipple movement.
Oh boy, one of these.
Yeah, another one of these. It's walking around town.
Like a hairy chick in San Francisco or something.
No, 27-year-old Maryland woman.
If you're going to San Francisco
or Maryland.
She wants people to be spending time bare-tittied in public. Chelsea Covington's her name. I'd like to talk to her. E, you want to pull up her blog? She's got a blog that she does, and she's posting pictures. So I want to see what we're dealing with here.
God. Stop.
What?
Those chicks on the right?
Yeah, I don't think that's her, though.
Again, man, these...
I mean... the sexiest of titties, but
it goes along with this breastfeeding thing. Like, dude, is this the cause really that you're devoting your life to?
Yeah.
Free the boobs.
Why not all of it? Why not just have the freaking vagina too out there? I mean, why? If it's not sexual, if it's none of this is sexual,
right?
What's the difference?
She spent 3 years channeling the top freedom movement. Says walking bare-tittied is still a powerful act. For a woman, her blog is Breasts Are Healthy. And it documents her journey, which is what you're seeing here. These are blog entries.
She in D.C. there?
Yep.
The nation's capital, showing off her titties.
Yeah, she's got other places. She said, like, that's not bad. I don't mind seeing that. The beach one there? She's laying on the beach topless? What's wrong with that?
Is that her with her husband and kids?
I think so.
Everybody topless?
Hell yeah. There are a number of places in the U.S. where women who expose their titties in public are technically committing a crime, like Utah, Indiana, and Tennessee. She writes, I've never been arrested or touched inappropriately, and up until I started my blog and posted my own pictures, I had never seen a single photograph of my titties on the internet.
She'd never been arrested? Really? I think she'd be arrested all the time.
See, that's nice.
Cited.
It's a nice shot of the...
November 20th, 2015.
Yeah. And that's not bad, right? Little sunset picture with some titties hanging out. What's wrong with that? E?
Yeah.
Back me up here.
I guess. I don't...
Why I don't ask other women to join me, but would love them to.
Yeah, I mean, it is all right. I don't know what to say. I don't care either way, I suppose.
She likes to go titties out simply because she feels like it. Personal comfort is my guide. If I wish to do so, I do. I prefer the physical comfort of bare-tittedness that it gives me, but also the freedom, the feeling of freedom.
I don't believe. I'm sorry, dude. Okay, I get if you want this. If she makes a move of it, the comfortableness, is that really more? I just don't believe it.
You've never worn a bra, E? Come on.
I'm just saying, but completely bare though.
Haven't you heard chicks complain about bras? Like, oh god, it's sweaty.
I'm talking about not wearing a shirt in public. I don't think that would be that comfortable to me. I don't like doing it myself.
Well, to the extent dudes do, though. Like, her point is, why not me?
Yeah, and I'm all for it. I like it.
Free the nipple.
It hasn't been all positive for her though. She gets some shit from people. She had one guy come up to her in Brooklyn, started shouting, "This is a fucking family park," as well as calling her a whore and a harlot. She says he has...
Really? Has she been called a harlot?
Yeah, so she claims. God, she looks like two different people. Sometimes she looks kind of hot, and sometimes she looks kind of like a mess, right?
Yeah, I can't tell.
She says he was the one who ultimately stood out because he was ranting and raving in her blog post called Celebrity Titties. My opinion on the value of celebrity bare-chestedness is that it depends. But in the balance, I think celebrities freeing the nipple or otherwise going bare-chested or even flashing or having a wardrobe malfunction does ultimately help people normalize to the sight of the female nipple. On the other hand, posing provocatively with bare titties creates a sexual association, which makes it harder to disconnect the female nipple as a sexual object.
So she's trying to disconnect that? Is that her deal?
Yeah.
Or she's just recognizing it is sexualized and I should be able to walk around like that. What's her point?
I'm not totally sure because that's not going to change.
Yeah.
The guys are going to look at a titty and go,
Our
wow,
culture
yeah.
is so, titties are so ingrained as a sexual object.
And
I can't
I don't
even believe they're for feeding. I still refuse. I've had 3 kids. I refuse to believe that's their primary function.
I agree. And yeah, and I don't want that to go away. To be honest with you, I don't want anything messing with that. You know, if that's her end game, then I don't support this movement because I don't want that to happen at all. She says it makes it harder to disconnect the female nipple as a sexual object when chicks are like sexily doing it. But you could say the same thing with her.
Oh, come on. Is it right? This picture, she did a few here.
Right. She's trying to
This
look
isn't
hot.
sexual.
Yeah.
This one is at a beach.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
She's sending mixed messages, Mike.
I agree. You want to see if you can find her, E?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind talking to her. Yeah, it's weird. Canoeing naked.
Hey, Mike, this segment is brought to you by Mayer and Company Accountants. If you dread, I don't know, having the talk with your middle school age kids as much as you dread bookkeeping and accounting for your business, let Kyle Mayer handle it all for you. Kyle's a pro who you can trust, so spend more time on your core business. Leave those awful, annoying accounting and bookkeeping tasks to Kyle. Call him today, 248-521-0016. Tell him the Detroit Cast sent you, and Kyle will provide you 10% off.
See, Lamar Odom's been invited back to the Bunny Ranch.
Is he in any state to be doing that? I guess he is, right? You said you saw pictures of him drinking and
yeah, he was
the other day, right?
Yeah, in somewhere in LA or Beverly Hills or something at some mall. I guess he was drinking. He's
no better place to drink than a mall.
I know. Doesn't that sound desperate or sad? Really?
Yeah.
Dennis Hoff wants him back as a client. The former Laker collapsed at the Love Ranch. They calls it the Love Ranch, not the Bunny Ranch. Following an alcohol and drugs binge in October of 2015, Hoff has now offered Lamar a complimentary stay. First night and 2 girls are on me.
Nice.
Plus all the Remy Martin you can drink.
It's enticing.
Yeah. Don't forget the people who work here are the people who saved his life. We truly care about him. Hoff's offer is surprising. He has threatened the 36-year-old with a lawsuit. He says, remember he ran up like a $75,000 bill.
Right. I was going to say, what's he going to sue him over? But yeah, he had quite a bender.
Yeah. And I guess they found every drug in the world in his system. And he was taken right from there to the hospital and where he stayed for months. And his outstanding bill is there.
Give him a break, man. He might pay it.
He says, I'm getting a lot of questions from Lamar's accountants. They're requesting the credit card slips and asking, did he sign them? I sent them his driver's license, the slip, some other stuff. I have no problem filing against her or him, meaning Chloe. Chloe, she's the wife. They're responsible for their debts. Why are they calling me? They need to do the right thing and pay. Chloe has previously slammed publicity-seeking Dennis for giving interviews while Lamar was still in the hospital. Well, yeah, you were doing the same thing, though.
She was. You're right.
You know, when they were filming that show.
Well, weren't they separated for all intents and purposes? And then this happens, and she goes running back to kind of bring her back into the fold and just gather the limelight again.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if
that's kind of ironic. A complete celebrity whore claiming that guy is one.
I want to see that baseball fight.
Oh yeah, that's right. Rangers. What was it again?
I'm not sure. It was Bautista, right?
Blue Jays, Rangers. I'm watching the GIF of this thing, and I'm not sure who this is. You said it might be the second baseman.
I thought so.
Just clocking the batter. Oh, he gets him square in the jaw.
I think this goes back to last year when Bautista hit a home run in the postseason and did one of those flip of the bat things.
Okay.
And so they came
so outrageous, disrespectful.
Yeah. So they threw high and inside and hit him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he charged the
mound.
No,
I heard after this brawl, then the next inning they hit Prince Fielder. Did Prince do anything?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Did he go huffing and puffing out to the mound?
Make it full screen. Just start at the beginning.
Since last October. Hit on the ground. Beltre goes to second for one.
It's the slide.
Bautista.
Yeah, that's why the second
There's a
baseman.
fight at second, and Odor smokes Bautista. Now both dugouts are empty. And now Pillar's into it with Odor, and Pillar's going.
It's kind of nice. Usually these baseball brawls are bullshit.
Yeah.
This has been brewing
Actually, see
since
some good
last
punches
October.
thrown. Yeah, so Bautista goes in with a really heavy slide.
Bautista went into second base
Yeah.
hard.
And Odor.
Odor took exception and started swinging.
Yeah, Odor caught him square, too. Knocked
Definitely.
his glasses off his face.
Yeah,
And they're still
Bautista's
going at it.
post-game comments, right? Oh, wasn't that hard?
And you
It's a
can't
sucker
blame
punch he claimed.
Bautista one bit. A hard slide. The only way he can get
And he
payback.
slid within the base
He's being
path,
held
right? He didn't
back
go out
by
of bounds like the new rule accounts for.
Yeah. He slid right on top of the bag, though.
Yeah.
But this is
Yeah, they'll play the replay at some point, won't they?
Yes, it has. You could see this.
He got clocked, man.
Beltre's holding Bautista back. Yeah, move it ahead, E.
But this goes back to done and just had a feeling. Comes up swing. Starts after Bautista got hit. He's running from first, and he's got intent on his mind, and he doesn't want to hear about any rule. And then Odor comes up swinging.
He caught him
and
square,
Yeah,
man.
he did.
He definitely caught him square.
Bautista's much bigger than him, too.
Bautista,
Yeah.
but Pillar's over there to help his teammates out.
Nice.
And it's an old
That's going to be a suspension.
Yeah.
Some fines and some suspensions.
No, but the next inning, yeah, I heard Fielder got plugged or got thrown at high.
I'd be shocked if the benches didn't clear after that.
Oh, I know, man.
Yeah, that's
That's flat out
should
haymaker
slide.
thrown.
Yeah. Anyway, should we put a wrap on this show, Jay?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we need to get out of here. What do we got for email?
We do have a bit of email, Mike, that I'd like to read. Brian writes in. Brian chimes in. Podcast Heroes, I'm working on finding someone with a journalism major or someone who writes for the Michigan Tech newspaper to be present for the presentation of the Key to the City. Maybe do a feature piece. I think it's only necessary that you guys get the press you deserve. Not sure if TDC has made its way over the bridge yet, as you were, Brian. Thank you, Brian. Please look into that.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Steve writes in, and he includes a picture. To all involved in the process of running the thing itself, known as the Detroit Cast, I say hello. I'm sending you a photo from the front page of one of our newspapers. It's about the youngest senator in Canada's history. He happens to be Indian, feather, not dot. An Injun, if you will. Algonquin, actually. I could give two shits less about him or any other politician, except for Donald, maybe. But I challenge all of you to spot the irony in this image. Did you see it? Did you? Well, I thought it was kind of funny anyway. Love the show and all that shit. Keep on keeping on. All right, here's the image. This guy's a freaking Canadian politician. It's the last thing I would have thought he was.
Yeah. He's wearing a Washington Redskins hat.
There you go.
Wow.
It has to be a statement, right? He's also wearing Redskin colors in his sweater.
It sure is. He's got a nice mullet going.
Got the double earring going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good for him. He looks
Two
young.
rings. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that guy was a politician, but
yeah,
the youngest senator in Canada's history. Good for him. Yeah, and yes, Jay, I do shop on Amazon. There really isn't much they don't have. Well, thank you for using Amazon. Please continue to do so.
Certainly appreciate it.
Dr. Tommy writes in. This is the gentleman who may or may not have been called out last week for only contributing $10 a month.
Said in jest, obviously, Doctor.
He writes in, still not an email about dick pills, although I if you wanted, I could write you a prescription for them. So you know how people are putting in the subject line, like to identify. Like,
He
this is
gets
not
free samples. Doctor, you get free samples. Cough up some samples. Those things are like $300 for a script. Jay's not buying that. I'm not buying that.
Gentleman in the poof lake. I unfortunately don't have any good medical stories to share. Nothing has beaten the story of the wine bottle up the ass. You'll recall that one from a few months ago. But don't worry, there are plenty of idiots out there just waiting to shove stuff up their butts, so stay tuned. The closest thing I have is a girl who came in last week who was trying to do the step on the back of the chair so that it falls over and walk away looking cool trick. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Like Janet Jackson video.
Sure.
You've seen it a million times. Only to take the top of the rail of the backrest straight to the vagine, causing lacerations to her perineum.
The perineum's between the taint and the vagine, right?
Yes.
Isn't that what the
perineum? Is that how you say
perineum?
it? Perineum.
Yeah.
Perineum. Exactly. Labia majora and labia minora. Don't worry. We fixed her up.
What do you do with that?
We made the vagina
Does
look
it
better than it
swell?
was before.
Really?
Or if they took off a little bit of lip.
Probably. What else would you do?
I'll keep the stories coming as they present themselves, especially stories about stuff up butts, since we know Biggie likes those most. He does. He's been talking about that wine bottle.
God, I was reading
nonstop.
I was reading about some guy that that broke his panus. Another one of those.
Yeah.
That snapped his panus.
Yeah, that's what we've heard. You actually hear the snap, right?
Yeah. I didn't know what went into that, but he snapped it while having sex. 32-year-old guy in India. Yeah, I know. It's dot, not feather.
It's one of these. We've talked about the mechanics of this. It has to be that she went too high. She's riding him. She goes too high, comes down on it.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah. He heard a loud snapping sound during, as he's quoted saying, vigorous sexual activity.
Whoa.
I mean, so he wanted on the record, like, don't think this was, I was half-assing it. I mean, this was, I was getting it on.
Fucking like a
With
jackhammer.
Yeah, there was vigorous sexual intercourse and then pain. He arrived at the hospital. His panus was bent at an odd angle and turned black. He said the doctors.
What do you do?
Said the doctors in India said, "Oh, he's got what is known as eggplant deformity." Calling it eggplant deformity.
Oh.
They carried out an ultrasound scan, which showed what he had torn, Jay, as you know, was the wall of the right corpora cavernosa.
Sure.
You're familiar, right? The penis does not have a bone, duh, but instead the corpus cavernosa, two tubes made of spongy material run along its length.
Okay.
This is for the listener. I know you're very well informed about all this. Blood flows into the tissue, which is what makes the penusal meat hard during an erection. The snap had led to a tear in the corpus cavernosa's sheath. And once you tear that sheath, that allows the blood to spill out, hence eggplant black it goes.
Oh, gentlemen, be careful out there.
The penile fracture, the penusal fracture, excuse me, occurs when the appendage is subject to a sharp blunt force trauma, which can happen during vigorous intercourse or masturbation. Dude, how vigorous is your masturbation session if you're going to smash that thing open? Since 1924, there have been 1,600 documented cases worldwide, about 16 per year. Last year, Brazilian researchers found the woman on top or cowgirl position.
That's it.
Is to blame for half of all of them.
Yeah.
It's also possible to suffer it damage in the nerves and genitals. There was a guy that was reported to have done this too. He was doggy, and he pulled back like a bow and arrow.
Just thrust.
And he thrust, and he went direct perineum. Yeah. He split the difference between an anus.
You could go a noose or vagine. You've got everything right there. Yeah. Instead, he went right in the middle.
You would think if there was some actual activity that was promising going on, there'd be enough built up juices to
slide it right in.
Slide one way or the other. You might dip below the belt. You might go high, but you wouldn't think it'd be so dry that you just
bang.
That's
the equivalent of walking down the hall and doing that dance with somebody and you end up walking straight into them.
Yes.
Like, God, if you just picked either side. And
yeah. Either side would have worked, but no, you went dead center, perineum, boom, busted.
Imagine hearing the snap.
Oh, no.
You know, I had plantar fasciitis really bad a couple of years ago.
I still do.
And
it sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. And I fear that's what's going on, not gout, but actually the fasciitis is flaring up again.
Yeah.
But it started to develop into this. I went to a foot doctor for it and everything. And he was like, yeah, you know, it's built, the fascia is whatever, it's upset and it's swollen and you got to give it time and all this shit. Or you can run through it, whatever, you know, just do as you can, deal with the pain or whatever. So I'm running on it.
So you can't hurt it more?
Can't hurt it more.
Really?
I'm running on it. And I swear to God, I heard it snap. It popped and I immediately felt relief. Like there was just such tension in that foot. And then all of a sudden, pop! And then holy shit, it feels perfect.
Really?
It felt perfect for like half a mile and then the pain came back.
Really?
But I heard a snap, man, from my foot.
Wow. I wonder what that was.
It was that fascia given away. It had like balled up and got so tense.
Yeah.
And some of it had busted open.
Oh. And now it's back again?
Yeah, it's coming back.
That is a terrible
That's why
pain.
I'm rolling my foot all the time, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's crippling.
Mike, we'll save the rest for tomorrow if we decide to come back. I don't know.
Yeah, after today's
might
performance.
Might be done.
Yeah, we might call it a career.
Yeah, 583 was it? Is that where we end? Yeah.
Is that the
Detroit Cast?
Episode 583. Yeah, we had a fun run. Yeah. It was fun while it lasted.
It's all right.
All right. We'll see. Tomorrow will be I don't know. We'll see if we're here tomorrow. So anyway, enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us. If you're still listening, the few of you that maybe are still listening. And if so, maybe we'll see you tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.
Listen to God, watch you grow.